So well, I came up with the idea for The Naked Name of Love back in the 90s, and the real inspiration for it was plant hunters. There was a real fashion for people to go out and find plants in the Victorian era, and it tended to be men, and they would tend to travel to sort of far-flung places and bring back plants. And I was just really struck by that kind of combination of sort of boys' own adventure and botany, and the real obsessive nature that these men had. And so what I thought was I'd like to have a story of a plant hunter who goes out to somewhere like Outer Mongolia and brings back the best that that country has to offer. So 1999 I went to Outer Mongolia, and it's not a place that tourists tend to go to, so it was quite an interesting experience. There really was nothing that kind of could prepare me for going there. I'd read about Mongolia, that it has these endless blue skies and limitless horizons, and it really does, and you just really have to go there and see it for yourself. It's hard to read about something like that, and then to see it for yourself was incredible. And then finally, towards the end of the trip, I met up with a tribe that hunt with eagles, and that was really my sort of purpose of going, was to try and meet this tribe, because in the book Joseph meets a tribe who also hunts with eagles, and when I got there I was slightly disappointed. I'd kind of built it up in my mind for so long, and when I arrived there was one slightly tatty golden eagle on this guy's arm, and the tribe were not about to stop what they were doing and put on a show for tourists, which is completely understandable. But I think I had these sort of visions of me galloping across the steppe following a golden eagle, but it didn't work out like that. So, like any writer, I just had to rely on my imagination. Well, I've been living in Bristol for a long time. I came here to go to university and then went away to London and was really desperate to get back. And I just love this city. And I think one of the things that I like about it is that it feels almost as if it's got the sea here, because it's got a river coming in and it's always got seagulls flying around. And I grew up by the sea. I grew up in a small town in Northern Ireland on the coast. And so it's got that sort of same seaside feeling almost for me. It's also a really historical town. I wanted to set The Naked Name of Love here, in the sense that Joseph grew up in Bristol, and his father who adopted him still lives here. And as I did the research, I kind of became aware of what Bristol might have been like at that time. All these little areas that we think of as just suburbs of Bristol would have been separate villages. So Joseph would have had to have travelled to the village of Clifton Wood, where his father lived. And I also like the fact that it's a real bustling port, and all the ships would be coming in with all their wares and unloading them on the docks down by in the city centre. And Samuel Pepys actually described this, where he was staying in a house on Park Street, which is a very steep street, and he was saying that he could look out from his window and look across the roofs of all the houses and see the masts of ships, where the ships were moored just right in the heart of the city.